Hello friends, are you looking for a shared taxi in Ladakh to save cost on your trip? Or are you a solo traveler or a couple who would like to share the high taxi cost in Ladakh? Time to time, solo travelers or backpackers reach out to me asking about how to avail public transport in Ladakh, or where they can find groups to share taxi costs, or how can they reduce the overall budget of their transport costs in Ladakh trip. Well, public transport is not readily available and it is not that frequent to various sightseeing places in Ladakh. So eventually it all comes down to using taxis for various sightseeing in Ladakh. So far in this Ladakh taxi series, I have talked about where to get a taxi in Leh, best way to rent a taxi in Ladakh, what is the cost of your Ladakh taxi, and is there any way you can find a budget taxi in Ladakh. But today in this Express FAQ series on traveling to Ladakh, I'm going to talk about how you can use a shared taxi to reduce the overall cost of your Ladakh trip. So let's get started. Well, if you have watched some of the previous videos of this series, you may understand now that if you are traveling to Ladakh and you are alone or like a solo traveler or a backpacker, or you are a couple, the taxi charges in Leh Ladakh trip can make some very deep hole in your pockets. The private taxis are very costly, but you will be able to find shared taxis in Ladakh without much fuss at all. There are few different types of shared taxis, like tourist shared taxis, local shared taxis, and taxis which are run by travel agents. Let's look at them one by one and how they are different from each other. Firstly, you should understand that tourist shared taxis are those where travelers or tourists like you get together and form a group. Then they get in touch with the taxi driver, or they already have got in touch with the taxi driver, and then what they do is they split the cost of the entire taxi quote that they have got evenly among each other. However, in this case, the itinerary needs to match among the group members. You are completely free to stop these taxis at any places on the route for sightseeing in the entire trip. As long as the group has synergy and agreement, it is the best option to stop anywhere for taking any pictures or soaking in the nature in Ladakh. In this option, you are free to choose the group size based upon your comfort levels of not overcrowding it. Secondly, various travel agents also run these shared tourist taxis to places like Nubra Valley, Pangong, So, Manali to Leh, or Srinagar to Leh. You pay per person for a seat in these taxis, and they run on some schedule based on how the travel agent wants to run them. The taxi driver and the agent will have a predefined set of stops on the route with limited flexibilities when you can stop to click pictures. But frankly speaking, it all comes down to the group and the synergy with the driver. Cost wise, these are a little on a higher side than what you will pay usually when sharing the taxi cost evenly among your group. It is mainly because the local taxi driver who can give discounts on the taxi union rates, while the travel agent will charge the taxi union rates, and on top of it there will be some premium as well. Usually the range of these destination based trips from travel agent is somewhere between rupees 1800 to 2500. The occupancy in these taxis are limited to provide the comfort based upon the taxi size as well as the tempo traveler. Thirdly, you have the option to avail the local shared taxis, which are much like a public transport, like shared jeeps or autos in other parts of India. These local shared taxis are used by locals to commute from one place to another in Ladakh. These taxis run from point to point, one place to another, without any sightseeing whatsoever in the middle. They may stop for some food breaks or snack breaks, but not at the places where you might want to take a picture in the middle of anywhere. Also, these local taxis are fairly limited to the local populated areas or villages. For example, you may not get a local shared taxis to run from Leh to Pangong So, because there will be less locals willing to go over there. However, you will be able to easily find these taxis which are shared by locals to go to places like Nubra Valley or Srinagar from Leh, or Manali from Leh. These taxis may not be flexible, but these are the cheapest forms of taxis that you can avail in Ladakh, as you pay per seat sharing with some locals. However, they can get very crowded, as driver would want more passengers in the taxi to run from one place to another. Hence, I advise you to choose these taxis only when you are very tight on budget and you can give up on the flexibility of stopping in the middle of anywhere to take pictures. Of course, you want to also give up on some level of comfort as well. Now comes the part, how can you get these shared taxis in Ladakh? Well, firstly, if you are looking for a tourist shared taxis, then there are lots of flyers that people put on cafes, dine-ins, restaurants, travel agent desks or shops or whiteboards all over in the Leh market or Fort Road area. These people are looking to share taxis for different trips, and you can get connected with them to share the cost. As someone will be anchoring these taxis and the group, so you will need to get in touch with those folks in order to avail these taxis. Or you can yourself talk to a local taxi driver and get a quote from him, and then start forming a group. You can also put some flyers out there at such places to form this group, and this way you will be the anchor of the group. Secondly, like I said before, even travel agents organize such tourist shared taxi trips as well. They may charge a little higher, about rupees 200 to 300 more than it would ideally cost, by splitting the cost of taxi evenly in your own group. So in worst case, you can always go back to them and book a seat for yourself on such shared sightseeing tours. In any case, this will also save you some good amount of money on your Ladakh trip. Finally, the local run shared taxis are available at Leh Taxi Stand or Srinagar Taxi Stand or Manali Taxi Stand, or you can find them in the main markets of some villages like Diskit in Nubra Valley. Alright, now that you understand your options and how to avail these shared taxis, you might also be thinking, how difficult is it to get these shared taxis? Is it too much of a hassle for you? Well friends, gelling up with people in Ladakh is more or less easy because many people travel solo and look forward to meeting other people. They want to share cultural thoughts or values over these trips. They also want to travel to other places in Ladakh and save some money. So in season time from May to September, you will be easily able to find some shared taxis for tourists in Ladakh. One thing is very sure, nowhere else in the world you will find more helping people and smiling people as Ladakhis are. But in worst case, if you are unable to form a group or get a shared taxi, then you can hop on to a local shared taxi and do your trip. However, you already know the disadvantages of using a local shared taxi, so take a call accordingly. Please note that in off-season, you will only be at the mercy of these local shared taxis that run, and you will not be able to find much of shared tourist taxis because the tourist rush is low. Now lastly, you may be thinking if you can find such travel partners online who are ready to share the taxi costs. Well, yes, absolutely. You can also find online travel partners to share taxi costs on your Ladakh trip. Various travel forums like India Mic have dedicated travel partner section where you can look out for other people. Even Devil on Wheels forum used to have a travel partner section, but unfortunately I have to shut it down the forums due to various other reasons. But you can also check the Devil on Wheels travel calendar, link in the description of this video. I enable it in season time and you will get hundreds of entries of the people who are looking out for travel partners in that calendar. In my opinion, it is a very good tool for finding travel partners online for your Himalayan trips. You can easily filter the entries based on your own preferences and increase the chances of visibility. Hence, kindly explore the DOW travel calendar that I have linked in the description of this video and also post your entry too. This calendar will help you find travelers who are looking for a company and increase the probability of finding your post by others too. So this was all about the shared taxis in Ladakh, the various types of them and how you can avail them. I'm sure all this will help you save some cost on your upcoming Ladakh trip. Now in the end, if you found this video helpful, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in case if you have any question or have any doubts on your upcoming trip to the Himalayas, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to help you out right away. Till then my friends, Jule and please keep our Himalayas clean.